All right, y'all. Shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom. It's Michael Israel, and I'm coming to you live. We're down here in Florida, down here in Destin, Florida. They say the sugary white sandy shores of Destin, Florida. We're down here with me and the brethren in our assembly. We're down here taking care of some business, getting work done for the business project that we are working. Um, but yeah, so it's not going to be a very long show, um, but I do have some some good information to break down. And as you can see by the title, we are we're talking about um, the Bible verse in the book of Proverbs, where it talks about getting wisdom and getting understanding. And hey, brother Tom, can you get that Bible verse? I think it's Proverbs chapter 4, verse. I think it's like it's at the beginning. It might be verse 3 or 4 or something like that. And I've been having this discussion with some of the brothers here in our assembly about about the importance of getting wisdom and getting understanding. And what happens, a lot of people, when you say that to them, they they kind of, I think people kind of just, they don't really look into what's really the importance of that verse, and the importance of what's being said in books like Proverbs or the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, and the Apocrypha. Those two books really break things down to a very digestible level. Um, and like I said, it's imperative that, like that verse says, to get wisdom, and then it says, with all thy getting, get understanding. Did you find it, Tom? You can just Google it. Just you can type in "get wisdom, get understanding." But what I see a lot of, you know, coming into this truth. We have a lot of brothers who come into this truth, and they're coming out of the curses. Um, they have they have come from broken families. Um, we have a lot of uh, males who have not fully entered into manhood in a lot of areas, in a lot of ways. And one of the key areas is in getting wisdom and getting understanding. And this morning, you know, um, I, I was thinking about, we had a little situation. It's nothing big, but it was just, we had a brother. There, he was. We tell him, hey, you need to get wisdom, get understanding, and um, a better way of explaining that to a lot of brothers is they need to practice critical thinking. Okay, they really need to practice critical thinking. Uh, it's imperative. Hey, Tom, read ahead on that and get the where it says with all thy getting, because it reiterates it again. I think it's seven, it might be seven, 6 or 7 or something like that. But yeah, it's critical thinking. A lot of brothers, we get a lot of young brothers who lack critical thinking skills, and you know, be with it's a blessing um to be able to be elders, and when I say elders in the sense that I am uh 47 years old, seen a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So I have some wisdom and understanding. We have other brothers that are elder to me, older than me here, that seen a lot, and they're willing to pour in to the brothers, the younger brothers, to help them get wisdom and get understanding, make it easy, be there, help guide them. But what it this verse is very key, and Brother Tony just posted in there. It says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." So, if you just read Proverbs chapter 4 and you start at the very beginning, you just read these 7 verses. Or we did a proverb Bible study in our fellowship group and in our Marco Polo group that we have for our assembly, where we were just going through Proverbs verse by verse, starting from Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1, and just reading it on out. And like for the first um, 6 or 7 chapters, it, it's just reiterating this, like, get wisdom, get understanding, get with it's just constantly pushing the importance of getting there. Um, and when you read through Proverbs, when you read through the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, especially if you're a young man, you're in your 20s, in your teens, man, you get that into your head, it's gonna lead and guide you uh, in every area of life. I mean, it has those 2 books, Proverbs and Sirach. They have information in there for literally every occasion. I mean, you go read that book. Like I'm thinking of Sirach. It tells you how to conduct yourself when you're around older people, um, and you're young. It shows you exactly how to conduct yourself. That book shows you how to conduct yourself when you're around um, brethren and you're fellowshipping and music's being played and everybody's enjoying themselves. It tells you how to conduct yourself, and what you need to um, how you need to behave and everything. It shows you how to behave when you're on a job. It tells you how to work. You name it. You know what I'm saying? It's there. And it behooves brothers to get books like that ingrained in their head so they can make sounder decisions. Hey, Brother Tom, can you pull up the definition for critical thinking I posted in our group this morning, and just pull it up on there real quick, and I'm gonna just check it out and read it. Um, but yeah, that uh, a, a good way to really understand um, what these books are trying to uh, are pushing you towards a mindset. Part of the mindset you need to have uh, is this, and I'll show it to you. Yeah, I posted it in there this morning. There it is. I, go back right there. Yep. Pause it. All right, let me see it. So what I put here. Oh no, that's not it. Hold on. Y'all, hold on one sec. All right, let me see. All right, we're gonna find it. All that. All right, here it is, y'all. Nope, that's right. We're gonna get it. One of these. There it is. All right, so here's the definition that I posted for critical thinking. It was a good definition I found. Now there's a bunch of them, but this one really hit it, and it says critical thinking is the act of deliberately analyzing information so that you can make better judgments and decisions. Okay, and I mean, this goes right back to why we need to be meditating on Yah's word day and night and get Yah's word ingrained in us. Um, because like I was saying, I watch a lot of brothers and you have brothers, they have the spirit, but they're not letting the spirit lead them. They're hearing other things. Um, that other emotions, other voices that they're listening to, other spirits that they're listening to and being led by. And unless they diligently adhere to this word and get it ingrained in their head and get wisdom and get understanding and practice, pull that back up, unless they practice, um, like I said, critical thinking. And again, I'm going to read that definition. Critical thinking is the act. It's an act. It's not something you're talking about or playing a role. It's the act of deliberately analyzing information so that you can make better judgments and decisions. And I'm going to tell you the key thing is you got a lot of people who don't deliberately analyze information or situations or what's going on. They don't act, they react, and there's no thought process, there's no wisdom given to it. And again, if you get into the book of Proverbs, you study, take some time and just do a study on that book if you're a young man and get wisdom. uh, you study the book of Sirach, okay, and you just read that book, it's gonna show you how to stop and analyze stuff and process stuff and not just react and be led by whatever comes along. You know what I'm saying? Um, and again, and be able to make sounder judgments on what you need to be doing. And I'm talking about y'all on a very basic level here. You know, uh, we see a lot of uh, young males, I will call them young males. We see a lot of them sit there and like struggle when it comes to the job, the work, struggle when it comes to finance, struggle when it comes to transportation, struggle when it comes to relationships, struggle when it comes to just really making sound decisions when they're in a position where they have examples everywhere from leadership, like pastors and the elders we have here in Straightway and everything. They have the examples. They have older men around them giving them instruction. They're being taught what the word says weekly, almost daily, almost. You know what I'm saying? It's and still there's the decisions being made are then it's not reflective of critical thinking. They're not analyzing anything. They're not running it through any type of process. They're just doing the things that they have been conditioned by this society, by their upbringing to do. So there's no change. Therefore, there's no fruit. And like I said, all I'm doing is breaking down to a more minute, granular level things that we hear all the time. Just really trying to break it down to to a very granular level. The things that we're hearing all the time. Like I say, getting wisdom and getting understanding. You see what I'm saying? Um, it's imperative to do that, to get wisdom and to get understanding. And like I said, it's just disturbing the simplicity with with which everything's being presented to people, to brothers and sisters, and how it's taken for granted. And at the end of the day, I know a lot of and that's another thing I've learned, just being a head of assembly for the time I've been a head of assembly, um, and watching a lot of brothers come and go, a lot of brothers be stagnant. And at the end of the day, I realize it's a decision that people are making. They choose not to get themselves together and do what they need to do. So, um, but yeah, it's imperative that we develop critical thinking skills. Um, I can remember, because we're down here. It's funny, we down here at this Air Force base down here. I ain't been on the Air Force base in a minute since I retired and everything. And it's bringing back memories, but it also brings back memories of how lost I was back then. Because unlike a lot of people, I knew I was lost, you know, but I had no clue of where I needed to go to get the answers, but I was looking. And as I got older, I started looking harder. And, at the age of 26, that's when I uh, um, made a conscious uh, declaration, I guess you could say, that, hey, I'm gonna figure this thing out now. It's too late. It's too much. I gotta get this thing rectified. I got to get this wisdom and I got to get this understanding, and that's when I really went on my journey. Um, but yeah, so that was I think a lot of young brothers, man, they need to make a similar declaration that, hey, they're gonna get wisdom, they're gonna get understanding, they're gonna start practicing critical thinking. Thinking critically. Tom, pull up the definition of critical. Because I want to make sure, because I have seen sometimes is this is simply a lack of understanding, even though it says get wisdom, get understanding. That's why I pull these words up to make sure people ain't missing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me see, Tom. What does it say there? It says critical, expressing adverse or disapproving comments, expressing or okay, it's the second definition. And what that definition is, it says expressing or involving an analysis of the merits and faults of a work or literature, music, or art. I think that's a little closer, but I don't think that's how it's used in that. Let's see. Let's see if there's a inclined to find fault or to judge with severity, often too readily. Too readily. So it's what it's saying is to really look at something and see if there's any fault or anything wrong with it. So to look at it real closely and to scrutinize it real hard. And this is what we need to be doing with our thoughts in our lives and the situations we're in and the people we're around and the decisions that we're making. You need to critically just look at it and scrutinize and look at it real hard. Put scrutinize in there. See if you could we get a good definition on that. But this is what we need to do. This is what people who have wisdom and they have understanding. When you read the book of Proverbs, it causes you to think different. When you open your mind to what that word is saying, it causes you to look at things more from a more critical standpoint when you read through there, whether it's women, whether it's life, whether it's a job. When I say scrutinize, the definition of scrutinize, examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. Okay? And again, this is something I've been seeing with our young brothers in their 20s and in their teens. And there's some brothers, some males that are in their 30s. Same thing. They're arrested in their development and they don't scrutinize things that are going on in their life. Pull that definition up again, Tone. That we see brothers arrested in their development. They're like Elder Rufus said, they're large males. I think that's what he called them. Okay, and they don't examine or inspect closely and thoroughly the actions that they're taking. And if you're going to examine and inspect and closely and thoroughly, if you're going to scrutinize something, you need something to compare it to, and that's the word. And like I keep saying, my would work for me. So what I recommend to brothers is to study the book of Proverbs, study the book of Sirach, and that will put you in a you know in a position where you have a standard to scrutinize stuff and analyze things and everything like that. And you won't you know you won't get confused and make bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? And if you're scrutinizing, if you're practicing critical thinking, you're going to uh, you're going to utilize the tools that have been, you know, put in place around you, like leadership. Um, here, I'll give you a good example. I watch men, or I ain't gonna say men. I watch large males make decisions when it's totally against the example that they've seen set in front of them. That's talked about every week. You know what I'm saying? And they're still making decisions that are based on their conditioning, and it's not based on critical thinking, on wisdom and understanding of the word. It's clearly based on impulsive thoughts that have been submitted to their head by a lot of times from the fruit you see come of it, thoughts have been submitted into their head by demonic entities. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you ain't gonna eat your stuff. You sit there, okay? This a laid back show, brother. We're on a fruit fast, and brother Umbry, man, he pushing the limits of a fruit fast. He made, what is that? He made plantain bread somehow or something like that. Fly, fried plantain. Can I try a piece of it? We'll do it. We'll do a taste test here live. Give me a small. Huh? It smells like. Look at it. Look at it. Fried plantain uh, bread. Is it? Is it called? Is that what it's called? Huh? Man, must be pushing the limits on a fruit fast, boy. I had two grapefruits today. We pretty much fasted today because when we get out and we work, we don't eat or drink nothing. We just go after it. Uh, but but yeah, y'all, it's important, y'all, to practice to think critically. Like here's two examples of what I'm talking about because y'all probably heard me talk about this before. I heard somebody say there's some teacher or some motivational speaker out there. Somebody said you got to cultivate the art of the pause or something like that, where you pause for a sec and you think for a second before you do something. I know we have in our assembly we have Marines, people from the Army, stuff like that, and uh, they have all types of sayings in there. I know Jocko on his Jocko podcast, he was saying how um, what he did is he learned when you're on the front line and you're fighting and you're in a firefight. He said it's critical that the battle commander take a step back from the fighting and survey the whole battlefield to see what's going on so that he can see what the enemy's doing. Okay, so a lot of people be in there and they watching heads pop up and they trying to they locked into the battle. In the meantime, the enemy might be circling around behind you. So a good battle commander will take a step back and see what the enemy's doing, see how that enemy's moving. Okay, see so that they can head him off and fight him effectively. Is that spiritual ramification? You know, uh, a lot of people get caught up in, like I said, in thoughts being submitted to them, and they just react on them. You see what I'm saying? Um, and it doesn't do them well. You're just reactive, and you wonder why you keep getting the same results in your life because you're not taking a step back and looking at how you're responding to stuff, how you're thinking, what's going on. You're being reactive and you're not acting. You got something there? You got a good definition there, Chuck? All right, so brother Tony found a good scrutinized definition that says to search closely, to examine or inquire, uh, to examine or inquire into critically, as to scrutinize the measures of administration, to scrutinize the private conduct or motives of individuals. So, and what we're talking about is to scrutinize yourself, your thoughts, your spiritual mindset, all that stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about. So I definitely think people need to take this into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Based on what I'm seeing, some of the stories I hear, some of the experiences I've had with saints, um, you know, this is a key area that needs to be looked at. But anyway, here, let me try a piece on air. On air. Live on the air. Y'all can see, y'all can probably see in the reflection, we was watching Lord of the Rings. Well, I was watching my eyelids when I got back in today. All right, so we're gonna have, what's this called, man? What's this dish called? I don't know. Umbre plantain souffle. All right, we're gonna try it. Damn, man, this don't. Hey, this dude ain't. You can't even call this a fruit fast. This too damn good. This like them people when we Feast of Tabernacles. They be having like electric power in their tent and all that. That's what this tastes like, man. This tastes like some good food. So I think I'm gonna be living off fried plantains for the rest of the for the rest of the month here. And man, it's damn good. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate all y'all tuning in. My phone is about to go dead. I got 4% on here, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, sun has went down, but we had a nice bay view here at our hotel. We had to get one real close to the base, and it happened to have a bay view. We got brothers here sleeping in the floor, sleeping all on the couches, all over the place. That's how we do it. We just get one hotel room and pack it in, save money as we build this business for the kingdom. We're doing this kingdom work. So appreciate all y'all tuning in. And with that said, y'all, Michael Israel and shalom, shalom.